Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Men with Issues show. Hope everybody's doing well out there tonight. I know I am. I'm in a great mood, actually. My face is clean. My shaven and everything
You got
feels
the,
great.
you got the baby face going on.
I do. I feel like it. I'm really highlighting this mole. That's the problem. You shave your face. Hey, look, Zach's mole's really sticking out now.
I can't bring myself to do it, man. I've almost done it a couple times. Just like, you know what, I'm gonna cut it all off and just clean shave and start over. I
Mm-hmm.
just can't bring myself to do it
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it.
because I feel like I look terrible with no facial hair.
Oh man, we should get some pictures. We can probably drag up some Facebook pictures of like you younger because your military pictures. Of course, you're clean
Yeah, but
shaven.
I was skinny, so I could pull it off.
Oh, that's the problem.
I can't
Yeah.
pull it off now. I shave this beard, and you'll see like double chin and stuff. So
What happened to Santa? I don't like this anymore. So, just to keep everybody in the know here, Justin's feverishly working on getting me a picture of some Roby tools that are for sale locally to him. Oh man, I love it. I love it,
trying to find it.
dude. I was out in the office build zone out there like a couple hours ago, and I was making a little video for the Shop Talk channel, kind of like here's what I've been up to, sort of thing. And I was going through all these tools. I was like, man, a Roby circular saw, fantastic. Only burned up one of them on this job. A Roby drill, Roby like little USB charger, like Milwaukee makes to charge your phone and stuff. Oh, I love that thing,
Yeah.
man.
Look here.
That's
The glare is gonna mess it up, ain't it?
I can still see that it's a lot of Roby stuff. I
Oh
wonder
man,
what the deal with it is.
it says, where's that? Prices start at $20. Ryobi tools, some used, some new, all work. Have blowers as well.
Mm-hmm.
But this post says, but no batteries.
Oh, hey man, I got like a lot of batteries.
But man, they've got all. I mean, there's grinders and there's sawzalls and there's blowers and vacuums and the little mini fan like you've got and all that.
Nice. I like that. Oh man, I don't know. When we went to Salisbury, I stopped at the Tools Direct outlet, which is in Smithfield. I was going to tell you to meet me. It's on I-95. So I figured you could just run right up I-95 and meet me and come back. It's probably like 400 miles or something.
Yeah.
But they have all Roby, Rigid, and Milwaukee. I guess it's all the same company. I know Milwaukee and Roby is, but maybe Rigid's also part of that. They have all these tools at like slight discounts. Oh man, it was great. I love that place. It was awesome.
Wow.
Send it over, man. I hear it. Click, click. Send it over.
You heard me.
Yeah,
You heard me.
I'll take all of it.
I'll take it off. I'll take it off. Now this is just another picture that was on the same post, and it's a pretty ridiculous amount of Roby things. But I'm not a Roby man, but you are. And once you have so many tools and so many batteries, it's like you're fully vested. You can't change it up then.
You really are. Holy crap! This is
Yeah.
one guy,
This is one guy.
dude. I wish I could get this onto the screen here. It is like a store shelves full of stuff. What is this guy doing? This is like hundreds of tools.
Yeah. Maybe they're stolen, Zach. I don't know. I can't vouch of where they come from.
I don't know. This guy hit the truck or something because he's got a lot of copies. I see right angle drills, impact drivers. Dude, I went to this Tools Direct. They have two bins to the left of the front door that are full of impacts and drills and stuff. They're like $29 for these. I don't know what the deal is. They're like reconditioned, or they call them factory blemished, to have like one little issue like cosmetically. So they send them to this store. It's like, hey, I'll take all that crap. I don't care about a nick or a scratch or something. Man.
Yeah.
I'll take them all.
Yeah, I started off as a D-Walk guy, and then I bought there was a kit on, I think it was on Facebook Marketplace when it was, no, it wasn't, because Facebook Marketplace wasn't even around at the time. It was, so Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, and I think some in North Georgia, they have a thing that is exclusively that area, but it's similar to Craigslist, but it's local, and it's called Local Sales Network. It's golsn.com. And so that for the longest time in Tennessee, that's where everybody sold everything. They bought, buy, trade, and sell was that website. And I bought a Milwaukee kit on there. I think it had a impact, a standard grill, a sawzall, and a flashlight, and like 3 batteries or something like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a Milwaukee kit. So I bought it, sold the few DeWalt tools I had, and never went back.
The rest is history.
Rest is history. Been a Milwaukee guy for years now.
Milwaukee's, I always make fun of them on the videos. How Ryobi's better than Milwaukee, but Milwaukee's really good. I've had a few of their tools. They're really good stuff. They're like the contractor version. Let's be honest. They're the contractor version.
You love dogging them though.
You
gotta take little shots there, like your little pop up that you did on one of your recent videos, where you put a Ryobi and a Milwaukee drill next to each other, and Ryobi greater than Milwaukee. Like, this corny dude, look at him throwing his crap in here.
You know what, man? Because I know in my heart that Milwaukee is technically better than Ryobi. I mean, it's made to be better.
Oh, it is absolutely better.
All right, man. Well, the jury's out. We don't know for sure, but. But when it's like an obvious thing like that, I love to make fun of it. Like when I say that all my Amazon meters are fluke-like meters.
Yeah, what does it say? Similar to fluke or fluke-like, yeah.
Yeah, this is basically the 902 FC right here that I'm using.
Yeah, and what is that thing? The Meritic or whatever that thing's called.
Oh, Mirtec. I don't even know if it's the right name. Sometimes I look down and I see the name for a brief second. I say it's Mertec or something. And
I see that thing and I'm like, where did he even get this thing from?
I'm thinking now I think that was like Amazon. It was like a lightning deal, and my wife bought one of these things for me. And I was like, yeah, I'll take it, man. I'm not one of these, snobbish people. I'll give this thing a try. We'll see if it's going to, get me killed or what. We'll see.
Right.
Only takes once, though, I guess, in that area.
That's true.
This
is true.
I love tools. Tools are great.
Yeah, me too. I got tons of them back here behind me that don't ever get used.
Man, you gotta, I don't know. It's kind of hard. If you go to work all day and you no longer require tools, there's not much you can do about it unless you got to fix something at the house.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna just get rid of all my tools because of the particular role that I'm in, because you never know. But I have tons of doubles that I could get rid of. So
yeah. So what? You wanted to get rid of some of your doubles? Why don't you go ahead and get rid of them then?
Because it's such a, I don't know, man. You know this. So it takes a particular person to know what that tool is, especially when you're talking about heat and air specific tools, right?
That's true. Yeah.
It takes a specific guy to know what that is. And even when you find that specific guy, he wants to beat you up on price, or because, Phil Peace come out with the latest and greatest thing a couple months ago, and my tool was from a year and a half ago and nobody uses it. I don't want that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So it's very hard to get rid of the stuff and at least recoup some of your money.
Yeah,
I mean, true. I know I'm going to take a loss on them. I know that, but I'm not going to be like, hey, $20, come pick out what you want. Like I just can't do that. I can't bring myself to do that.
Well, it's good if you're not in a position where you have to sell them. Like, oh no, someone needs a kidney or something like that.
Yeah,
if you can take your time with it.
It's not that kind of situation. Like, the money would be nice to have, sure, but it's not life and death or anything like that. Like you offer to put it on the Shop Talk group on Facebook or whatever, and I'm not to that point with it, because honestly, I don't want a bunch of random dudes emailing me or texting me, beating me up about, well, I know you want 200 for this, but I'll give you 75. I'm like, I don't have time for that. I'd rather just not even have that.
I'm totally with you on that. Whenever I've sold stuff on Facebook in the group or whatever, it's always been like a million guys at light speed going like, how about this, how about this, how about this, how about this? And it'd be like 5 of them at the same time messaging. It's a cluster.
And then if you do finally sell everything, you've got 6 boxes to send in 6 different directions. And
Pain in the
I'd rather,
butt.
if I'm going to sell something, I'd much rather sell it all to the same dude and send it all in one place. Now that's going to be really hard to do, but
that would be nice. It's going to take a particular dude, but sometimes, and they're going to have to get him a deal. I'll give you a deal on all this stuff, because shipping, it's like $10, $20 here, $15 there, so it adds up too.
Yeah,
man. So what about the Bible?
Yeah. So, man, it's been what? It's been 2 weeks for us, right?
Yeah, man. So what have you been like as far as church and Bible readings and
Oh
stuff like
man,
that? What have you been on?
it's been super busy. So we had what they call D Now, which is like a it's like a youth camp for what they do it 4 days, 3 days or 4 days. So I think it started on Friday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I believe. So it was a 3 day deal. So we were at the church every day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, then Sunday started revival through Wednesday. So then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at the church every day. So we were at the church every single day for almost a solid week.
Wow.
Helping do this, helping do that. And then, great messages. The pastor that come for revival was his name's Algernon Tennyson. He's a big old black guy, probably 6'5", huge, giant of a man. And man, he's an excellent man of God. He really is. He makes you think. It makes you think about things in a realistic way and down to earth, and holding yourself accountable and all these things. And it was really eye opening, really good. So had a lot of stuff going on at the church for the past week or so, week and a half.
That's wild. Just for my clarification here, is this the guy right here?
Yes, sir. That is him.
Algernon Tennyson. Wow, what a name.
And he has a ministry where he takes in and helps with the trafficking of women and children.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the name. Is it AIMS, I believe, is the ministry. I don't know what the acronym, what it stands for or whatever, but I believe it's AIMS is the name of it. He is from, I believe he's from close to Atlanta is where he lives. Him and my pastor are best friends. So
that's how he got hooked up with your church.
Yeah. And this isn't the first time he's come and preached here. He's down quite often, but he's getting ready to, anybody listening, keep him in your prayers. He's actually getting ready to start 6 weeks on the road. So he's all over the place. He's going out west. He's going up north. He will not be home for a solid 6-7 weeks. Wow. And he recently had back surgery and all kinds of things. So he could use some prayer, I'm sure, as we all could.
Yeah, absolutely. That's hard to do. 6 weeks. I don't like leaving, like I've been telling you about trips we're going on. I like doing stuff at my house. I'm kind of a home person, so I don't know about that. That'd be tough.
Be tough traveling, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's living out of hotels. You never sleep as good in a hotel bed as you do in your own bed. It's just, and for 6 weeks, or maybe he's staying with at people's houses and stuff. It could be that, but still, it's a strange place.
There's another way to look at that too, where we can easily say, because I'm the same way as you. It's like, man, I'm a homebody. I couldn't imagine being on the road and being away from my wife and kids for 6 weeks at a time or whatever, the stints that he goes. But what do we also know? That if you're going to live for God, you're going to have to get outside your comfort zone and do stuff that you wouldn't that Justin or Zack wouldn't typically do, but the Lord might call you to do something. So, you do things, you do wild things when you're fired up for the Lord and you're following his will. So
I figured you might be saying something about like that whenever you started talking just now. So he's going to say, we're leaving our comfort zone and to, let's not, like push that out of the way. Let's accept it and go with it.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's still tough. Yeah. Have you ever, let me ask you, have you ever had something like an example of that you can think about? Like you were led to do something that was not typical for you?
I mean, I think I've had a few small things, probably nothing dramatic, but just getting used to, maybe speaking out and giving your opinion of scripture in like a small group with other people, or praying out loud in a large group of people and stuff like just, getting outside of your normal comfort zone. Not that those are big, like missionary things, but they're
be big to me. I mean, that's to me that's the little things that add up.
mhm.
The things no one
And then of course
sees.
there's we're in the process of, I think it's probably going to be early next year before it happens. But we've got this, we're going to be taking mission trips to Ecuador. So I will probably be part of one of those groups going to Ecuador for a
What
week
a
or
good
two.
story that's going to be when you come back. That'll be really interesting, just for the fact that you went there. At all.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yep.
Well, that's really nice. I mean, that's I for the last 2 Sundays I haven't been at church because we've been gone. We've been out Charlotte one day, which I mean I'm glad we had a good time, and we were in Salisbury dropping him off, which is in Western North Carolina, and then we went to Charlotte the second time after we picked him up because I've never been to
Right.
Charlotte before. I'm not a huge fan of big cities in general, but it was all right. It was pretty good. We went there and went to the largest store I have ever seen, which was the IKEA store.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a store that big in my life. I felt like such a country person because outside it's like 3 or 4 football fields long and that deep too. It was wild, but it was fun. It was pretty cool. Traffic wasn't bad. Basically, is what I'm saying. I was able to have fun because traffic didn't suck.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's really all that's been going on. Just a lot of stuff at the church, and I think we're actually getting together with our small group on Sunday night on the 4th of July. We're going to go to one of the guys' houses and shoot fireworks and cook out and all that good stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So a lot of people, it's there's a lot of people on vacation right now, so everybody's kind of scattered, but there's a few of us that are still in town.
Yeah.
So
Our church is going back down to the river, but we're going to miss that, unfortunately. We're going to be at the service, but my brother-in-law has a beach house, and we're having a family 4th of July. And, man, I was conflicted. I said, I want to go back down to the river. That was a lot of fun. And to
Right.
be with these people for the first time as they celebrate outside of church and talk outside of church was really fun. So I hate to miss it, but I know there's going to be more. I think we're going to have one maybe Labor Day. They're going to do another one, so we'll see.
So you're going to church that morning, but after church, y'all are doing your family thing. I got
Going down to the beach after that, which is nice. I haven't been to the beach in a long time either, but it's a lot of fun. The kids will like it.
Isn't that crazy? That off topic, but you're what, 30 minutes from the beach?
Yeah, I mean, there's several different beaches. Yeah, within 45 minutes of the house.
I'm about 20, 30 minutes away from the beach. And you just said it's been a long time since you've been to the beach. It's been a long time since I've been to the beach.
Yeah.
Actually, I can say this. I've been back home in Georgia since February of last year. So, what, year and a half? Creeping up on a year and a half at least. Not been to the beach, not one time since I've been home.
I don't think I've been
And
to the
it's
beach in that
20
same
minutes
span.
up the road.
Yeah. It's one of them things, like, it's always been there. I grew up at the beach. I grew up in Wilmington, and I was literally like 10 minutes down the road, and my family went like a whole lot, like every weekend. But Melissa's not a fan of the beach. She likes going to the mountains. That's her thing. So we've actually been to the mountains twice in the last year, and we haven't gone to the beach at all. And it's right down the street. So
yeah, and see, I'm kind of burnt out on both. I mean, maybe they'll come back around to me, but I grew up like you, grew up close to the beach or on the beach. And so it wasn't really that big of a deal because you grew up here. And then we moved to Tennessee when I was 16, and I lived in Tennessee other than brief military stuff and moving around a little bit. I was in Tennessee from the time I was 16 till I was 31 or 32. So I spent all of my 20s in Tennessee, and I lived right smack dab in the middle of the mountains. So you take that for granted too, because everybody that's not from the mountains, they're like, oh, I love going to the mountains for vacation. But when you live there day in and day out, it's just another day for you. Yeah. You're used to driving in the mountains. You're used to seeing beautiful views, looking over a valley and stuff like that. And so now I'm back in Georgia, and all these people down here are like, man, I can't wait to go to the mountains. I'm like, nah, you have it. You want to go to the beach? Nah, don't really want to do that either.
You just don't
What
want
do
to
you
do
want to do?
nothing.
I want to sit at the house. That's what
Yeah, well, that's the secret of my life as well. My wife be like, I want to do this, I want to do this, and said we do it. We'll go wherever it is. I said, but I'm just happy, going outside, and at the end of the day, after I've done whatever task I want to do, just sitting in a little chair. I got my drink, wind is blowing. I'm perfectly happy right there. I'm a simple man. I'm real
yeah.
simple.
I
Oh,
think I probably like the river more than I do like going to the beach. I'd
it's a
much rather.
country version of the beach.
It absolutely is. I'd much rather go to the river and get on like a little old, you know, 10 or 15-foot little john boat and put down the river and fish for red breast.
Yeah,
That's right up my alley.
I mean that fits right in right where I'm at. I think our areas are pretty similar.
Yeah.
The mentality, it looks like it's just about the same. Go down the
Yep.
river, get your john boat, got the little motor on the back, a little small, trolling motor or whatever you got.
Yep.
You're zipping around. It's fun.
Little 9.9 or maybe a 15. Maybe a 15 horse.
Not fancy.
Stick steer. Fancy.
Yeah, yeah.
And
First
you
time
got to
drive
have
it, right into the bank. Right.
Yep.
To the bank.
and you have to have a small boat with a stick steer motor with our river because especially when the water's down, you ain't taking a big boat down that river, man.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be sitting on a sandbar real quick.
Oh yeah, or a tree, underwater
Or a tree. Yeah.
Yeah, we get a lot of
That
that.
too. Yeah. Break your prop off. Yeah.
People in other parts of the country are like, what? What are you talking about?
What is he talking about?
I mean, let's go on down to Spillway, catch some brim. We'll put them brims on the line. We'll catch us a cat. We'll catch a cat and eat it.
Or you shut your motor off because you're tied up to a bush or you're anchored over on the bank and you fish for a while. Then all of a sudden you have problems with your motor. You can't get your motor started and your trolling motor ain't working and you took off without a paddle.
Yeah.
And you're downriver. So you got to go back upriver to the boat dock.
Well, I got a similar situation. We are not adept at paddling. We had to paddle upstream in this river, and it was me. And I remember one of my buddies, Philip Hall, I grew up with, and we had a campsite. We forgot something like propane or something really important. We went back to the landing, drove to get the propane, came back, got in these things. I think it was like canoes because they rented canoes. So we're off in the canoe paddling against the current. And man, I'm going to tell you what, it looked ridiculous. Like a zigzag pattern. They're just like, however old we were, 19, 20 years old or whatever. It was awful. Yeah, we were up the stream without a paddle, Rich. That's exactly right. That's where we were.
Yep. And you don't believe me, you don't want to be in that situation. Especially around here. I don't know how it is in your area, but if you ever get caught in a boat and your motor quits working, you can't get it to start, and you ain't got a trolling motor, and for some reason you took off without a paddle, you don't have a paddle in the boat, and you have to wave some old man down to tow you back to your boat ramp. Mm-hmm. Whether you know that man or not, he's going to lecture you for 10 or 15 minutes before he hooks up to it. He will pull you back. He ain't going to leave you there. But he's going to tell you all the reasons why you don't leave without a paddle and why you don't leave without a working trolling motor. And all these things. He's going to lecture you like he's your father for 15 or 20 minutes before he hooks up and pulls you back. You don't want to be that dude standing in a boat getting lectured by an 80-year-old man on the river.
Even worse, in my case, like my father. Yeah. Well, what happened there? It's like remember the Duck Dynasty where they left the plug out of the boat?
Yeah.
And they sunk Phil's boat, and he's like, and Phil's gonna tell us now about how you have to have the plug in the boat, and we have to listen because we sunk the boat.
Yeah,
it's funny.
And Rich said, and he's right. Yeah, and the old 80-year-old man, he's absolutely right. And you can't get an attitude with the man because he is going to tow you back. And if you chew that old man out and say, I don't need you telling me what I did wrong, go on about your business, forget you, old man, blah, 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 and you run him off and he don't tell you back, you might be sitting there on the bank of the river for another 2 hours before somebody comes by.
Suck it up. That's what you had to do. Suck it up.
So you have to suck it up, take the lecturing from the old man, and then get him to pull you back.
And that's the only choice. Smiling. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right, sir.
Yeah,
That is
you,
an
you're
important part of
absolutely
the
right.
deal.
I don't know you from Adam, but I'm going to take this butt chewing from you. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah. Gasoline is important, sir. Thank you.
Yes, it absolutely is.
Uh, well, let me tell you, I had read the rest of Judges, which was actually really really cool. Some of the stuff I never knew about, and uh,
Yeah.
just two things that really stuck out to me that I wanted to mention. Uh,
Hmm.
there was a section in Judges where they have like the 12 different tribes of Israel and
Right.
the tribe of Benjamin. And I guess for people who were like, "What are you talking about?" The 12 tribes were the 12 children of Jacob, their names. And so the tribe of Benjamin, this is generations later, had like gone down this bad path. They were really like depraved people. They were bad people. And what's funny is they did the same thing. They was like they came up to this guy's house. They were demanding to get in, and they wanted to have sex with this dude. I mean, homosexual behavior from these guys.
Yeah.
And it was exactly the same situation, almost worded the exact same as Sodom and Gomorrah and Lot. So it really is like, wow. So this is actual tribe of Israel now that's acting just like the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. And they went to war and everything. A lot of them were killed. And the end of the book, the last line, it actually is repeated throughout the book a few times. And I thought this would be perfect, dude, because it's exactly like right now in the world right now. It says, in those days there was no king in Israel, and everyone did what was right in their own eyes. And I was
Yep.
like, that is right on the money right there.
Yep.
So, give me chills, actually.
And I'm glad you went there because I'm gonna dive right into that too. I know before the show we were talking about we was talking about Acts chapter 4, but I went to Second Timothy, and it was so funny because you were talking about how the world is and this and that, and I was looking at chapter 3 of Second Timothy, which is the dangers of the last days.
Oh yeah.
So I'll read some of this, and again, I've got ESV here, but I'm going to read out of my NLT just because it's my language, it's my level. You should know this, Timothy. So for context, for people that don't know, this is Paul talking to Timothy, and Paul's in prison. Blah blah blah. Timothy's not his actual son, but he considers him basically like his son. That's how close he is with Timothy. He says, "You should know this, Timothy, that in the last days there will be very difficult times, for people will love only themselves and their money, and they will be boastful and proud, scoffing at God, disobedient to their parents, and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred. They will be unloving and unforgiving. They will slander others and have no self-control. They will be cruel and hate what is good. They will betray their friends, be reckless, be puffed up with pride, and love pleasure rather than God." Man, if that ain't talking about the world today,
Open up the window. You got it. Yeah.
open up the window. And man, I'll just keep going. But I just figured I need to take a pause there because there's so much there that's like, yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're
right.
Here's a good one. They will act religious, but they will reject the power that can make them godly. Stay away from people like that.
That is a good line right there.
Do we not have a lot of that going on even in the church right now?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Or how about people that say I believe in God. I consider myself a religious person, but I think I'll be okay because I think I'm a good person.
I'm a good person. Yeah.
That's
people,
that's the go-to.
Yeah, you can almost hear the compromises. Well, love is love. Mm-hmm. Love is love. Huge compromise right there. Love is not just love. That's not it.
No,
I don't think people know what love is actually.
You're tap dancing around.
Yeah, that's absolutely. You're trying to make excuses for people that are in sin, and we're all in sin. But most of us, especially us that are striving to, have that afterlife, eternity with God. We know what sin is, and if we do it, we're like, shouldn't have done it. Sorry, God, I didn't mean to do it. I'm going to try to improve and keep striving. I'm going to fall short, but I'm going to keep trying. And there's a difference between that and I'm sinning. I don't think it's a sin, whatever. You know,
Yep.
I think
So
that's a difference.
let's go a little bit more. So he says, stay away from people like that. They are the kind who work their way into people's homes and win the confidence of vulnerable women who are burdened with the guilt of sin and controlled by various desires. Such women are forever following new teachings, but they are never able to understand the truth. These teachers oppose the truth. They have been deprived. They have deprived minds and a counterfeit faith, but they won't get away with this for long. Someday, everyone will recognize what fools they are, just as with what was that Janice and Chambers? I don't know how to say that.
I don't know how to say it either, actually.
Okay, we're gonna go with that.
We're in agreement in our failure to pronounce things correctly.
Yes. So let's keep going. But you, Timothy, certainly know what I teach and how I live, and what my purpose in life is. You know my faith, you know my patience, my love, and my endurance. You know how much persecution and suffering I have endured. You know all about how I was persecuted at Antioch, and Iconium, and Lystra, but the Lord rescued me from all of it. Yes, and everyone who wants to live a godly life in Christ will suffer persecution. So let's stop there for a second. The whole rainbows and butterflies that people like to teach nowadays. I mean, just give your life to Christ, and it'll be all rainbows and butterflies. It's not gonna be. And why should it be? We'll take it a step there. Why should it be? Why are we deserving of that? We're not. God had to send his son to suffer for our behalf, to take up the sins of the world, and he had to suffer. So what makes us think that we're not going to suffer at least a little bit? You got to take up your cross daily as well. So I think that's very powerful there, that if you're following Jesus Christ, you're going to suffer persecution. Look at and we tend to think about it in today. It's like, yeah, people are talking against the church and they laugh at the church and they don't believe in God and this and that. I mean, look at this. This is whatever, almost 2,000 years ago, and the same stuff's going on. People are being persecuted for believing in Jesus Christ. Oh, and by the way, guess who was the ones mostly doing the persecution? Supposed religious people.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So think about that for a second. But evil people and impostors will flourish. They will deceive others and will themselves be deceived. But you must remain faithful to the things you have been taught. You know they are true, for you know you can trust those who taught you. You have been taught the Holy Scriptures from good, and they have given you the wisdom to receive the salvation that comes by trusting in Christ. All Scripture is inspired by God and is useful to teach us what is true and to make us realize what is wrong in our lives. It corrects us when we are wrong and teaches us to do what is right. God uses it to prepare and equip his people to do every good work. So I'll stop there. I won't keep going. I could keep going and going and going, but a lot of good stuff there. So what I get from that is there's going to be a whole lot going on in the world. There's going to be outside influence. People are going to be lovers of themselves. Mm-hmm. Kind of like what they say, what some of the stuff they talk about now. We just need to update the Bible a little bit. It's a little behind the times, talking about gays and talking about this and talking about, and women's suppression and this and that. We just need, there's good stuff there. We just need to update the Bible. The Bible don't change. Okay.
That's right.
God's word doesn't change. People change, and they want it to reflect what they think is okay.
Oh yeah. They want to be justified.
And so they want to be justified in their actions in their life. So you got to ignore the outside influence and focus on what the word teaches you and how you're supposed to live your life.
Now, what does Jesus say in John, the world hated him without cause. He didn't do anything.
Without cause.
And they killed
No.
him. So don't expect to get off any easier if you're following him. I mean, truly following him, like not this halfway stuff where, you know, it's like, oh, whatever. I go to church. I've done my job. You know, if you're really following him, you're going to.
And we have, and Tony makes an excellent point in the chat. You know, we talk about being persecuted. You know, we're fortunate enough to live in the United States where we have the freedom to worship God and praise God and follow his teachings and live our life that way. And we're not per se persecuted for it. Now, are people going to judge you? Are people going to make fun of you? Are people going to make things difficult for you? Sure. Absolutely. But you still have the freedom to believe what you want to believe. And yet you have people that go to church on Sunday and Wednesday and smile and wave, and that's all they do. And then they go right off into the world, and they have every excuse in the world of why they can't witness to their neighbor, or why they can't pitch in for this ministry or that ministry. They don't want to dedicate any time for it, you know, because it's an inconvenience for what we want to do. You have people in China and Africa that are so strong in their salvation and in their faith and teaching the word of God that they're willing to take the risk of being beheaded because they're a Christian, because it's not allowed. We should aspire. I'm not saying go out and try to get yourself killed. I'm saying we should aspire to have that much faith and strength in what we believe, that we be willing to talk about God in a country where it's banned and not allowed.
Absolutely. I'm gonna let you know that I have like 4 more minutes to go pick up Mallory. I had to leave, unfortunately, to go pick up my daughter because she's coming back from Disney World. What a hard life. Beta convention.
You got 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
One of the 4 minutes, I want to read James chapter 2, verse 14. Faith without works is dead, because that's exactly what you're talking about. You know, it's this whole, you know, I am in the faith. Well, not really, because you're not doing anything that you would do if you're in the faith. It says, and this is verse 14, what good is it, my brothers, if someone says he has faith but does not have works? Can that faith save him? If a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and if one of you say to them, go in peace, be warm and filled, without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is that? So also faith by itself, it does not have works, is dead. And, you know, I think people see that and say, so faith doesn't get you to heaven, it's works. It's like, nah, you have faith, you do the works. It's a natural progression. If you truly have faith in Jesus Christ, you're going to want to do these works. It's going to be part of your whole life. If you don't have that, then my opinion is you don't have the first. If you don't have the second, you don't have the first. So
yeah.
So it goes right along with what you're saying. If you're going to go to church and say you're going to check a box saying, all right, got my box checked, a couple more and I get to go to heaven. No, I don't think that works like that.
Yeah.
No.
James Patrick in the chat said, read Romans chapter 14. Just curious how you interpret what it's saying. How about we try to do that next week? I'll read chapter 14 and
passing judgment. Yeah.
Yeah. Passing judgment. And, we'll read it and give some opinion.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine with me. We can actually do something a little targeted next week. Have the
Yep.
Hey, man.
And I
targeted.
James, I'm writing it down right now so I don't forget, because if I don't write it down 10 minutes from now, I won't remember what you said.
Yeah. And if anyone ever has anything they want to cover on the show or have us talk about, you can absolutely email us. There's the email on the screen, menwithissuespodcast@gmail.com. And I guess I'm doing some of your work here tonight. You can also follow us on the podcast, Men with Issues Podcast. If you can't find it, you let me know at this email, and I will send it to you. It's on every podcast app. So we had our best month last month, which is good. So,
awesome.
I got 1 minute. I'm leaving. It's pouring down rain, too.
It's pouring down rain here, too.
All right. We're going to have to wrap it up here for tonight. I'm going to let you do your thing, though. All right.
Well, you covered majority of it, but I just want to say it was a good break. Had a lot of stuff going on, but I'm ready to dig back in and let's get this going every week because I really enjoy it. I think we hold each other accountable and reading and growing, and our salvation. So, guys, we appreciate you. Like you said, if you have any questions, any input, send us an email. You guys have a great weekend, great 4th of July weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the reason for 4th of July, just saying. And see you next week.